CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances has the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'll tell you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. C-Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis. A complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. C-Graphics Printing.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
CNS Motors Auto Sales.
Go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. Let's go, let's go, let's get it, let's get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you with it? Yeah, we with it. Let's go, let's go, let's get it, let's get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you with it? Yeah, we with it. Big time players make big time plays. 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 Go hard, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. Cause big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Gotta get it in a big time way. Let's get it on the grind, lay it on the line. Gotta stay focused, gotta keep a sound mind. It's go hard or go home. Go long and go strong. Don't back down or give in. When it's tough, that's when we press on. Gotta dig deep, gotta dig in. Hunger for the victory.
Welcome. We are live. We're in full effect on another Wednesday edition of Talk Back Live Sports. We're live in the building. I'm your host, Joshua Midget, man, ready to go, ready to get it on this Wednesday, man. So much stuff to get to on today, and you all know what the big topic is, man. Memphis Tigers basketball is in full effect. The regular season got started last night, and as you know, Talkback Live Network was in the building because my next guest at this time was in the building, as he always is, man, live on the scene. He is my man, Talkback Live Network reporter and contributor, Leon Taylor. I got him on the phone right now. We're just going to dive right into it off the jump. Leon, how you doing, bro?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. So, man, let's just get into it. Before we get into the game and everything, talk about coming up into the game and everything. You were there pregame and seeing warm up, the fans come in. What was the feeling like to the game? I know it's just South Carolina State, but it's still the first regular season game of a highly anticipated season. What was the feeling?
Well, the feeling was pretty much the team getting ready to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that is, James Wiseman was prepared to go on his first day at the job. As we all know, he did not play the first 2 exhibition games. And just while we're talking about them, we're going to clear this up.
No, we good. You good. Go ahead.
Okay. Didn't play the first 2 exhibition games because he had a minor ankle sprain during the first game. So they just, for precaution reasons, just set him out the first 2 exhibition games. So you could tell James was eager and ready to play because there was so much speculation about him being ineligible. There was people saying that he wasn't going to play because he's hurt badly. So, I mean, you got to imagine James hearing all this stuff, and it's like, why are people saying these things? So he was eager and ready to show not just the city of Memphis, but the world that James Wiseman, the big ticket, was ready to cash in last night.
Yeah, man, and I'm going to tell you, I know everybody was talking about Wiseman because even the city, almost to a, the way I put it, like a paranoid level, was so worried about his condition, man. Oh, man, is Wiseman going to be okay? Just because he didn't play in the first couple of preseason games. But, and I know you actually got to talk to him before one of the preseason games, and he said he's fine. But do you think that was just kind of a precautionary measure? And even Penny's kind of talked about it by now. But I think he's kind of proven at this point that he's definitely fine and good to go. Were you surprised to see him produce at that level in the first game?
Not at all. I've been covering James for over 2 years now, and this is what the whole city of Memphis was, basically waiting for. When they announced his name during the starting lineups, and you can hear the crowd just roaring and standing to their feet, this was well expected. And to come out, I think me and you both said he was going to have like maybe 21 points and 12 rebounds, and he easily could have had 40 if he played the whole game.
Easy.
But, I mean, yes, sir. And also, just to really go back to the first 2 exhibition games, I think this was actually a great thing that Penny and the Tigers got a chance to get involved in, because you also got a chance to see what else the team brings to the table besides James. The city of Memphis knows what James can do. He's a dominant post player. But now we know what Lance Thomas can do. We know what guys like Damian Ball can do. Guys like DJ Jeffries, who's basically everyone's kind of forgotten about. But Precious Accrual has been a double-double machine since the day he stepped on campus. Each game he has played, he has produced double-double every time.
Wow.
And we're talking about playing under 25 minutes a game. So you have 2 bona fide NBA prospects in your starting lineup. So the city of Memphis got the price of admission last night because James Wiseman put on the show, and he also kind of scared the crowd for one moment because it was a scene where he was going up for a dunk, and a South Carolina State player kind of took his legs from up under him. So he kind of flew in the air a little bit and, landed face first and was a little slowly getting up, and the whole arena, you could hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it was when James Wiseman was on the floor.
I can imagine.
So, I mean, yes, sir. I mean, it's a lot riding on James' shoulders. You don't get a national championship without James Wiseman. So he was everything he was ever like.
So I'm gonna ask you this, and this is on the real. So when you see him do what he did last night, right? Do you think, and it's interesting because when you saw Penny's press conferences leading into this, even after the couple of preseason games, he talked about the things he was concerned about and all of that stuff. And even transparently, it said, hey, Wiseman erases all of those concerns. Is he really that important to this team? And I know anytime you have a potential number 1 pick, he's important. But you got a lot of other talented guys here as well. But it was almost night and day from the 2 preseason games watching them last night against South Carolina State.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna give you a prime example. This guy's like Kool-Aid and sugar. You can't have Kool-Aid without sugar, so you gotta believe we need James Wiseman to get to where we want to go.
Definitely.
And
man.
I mean,
Go ahead.
and not only was it just a James Wiseman show, but like I said, you got Precious Akua, DJ Jeffries, guy like Damian Ball. Damian Ball almost had a double-double. He had 8 points and 8 assists. Only had in his first college start as a true point guard. So, I mean, he's a solid team. And not only do we have a solid team, this, to me, has to be one of the most athletic universities I've seen in so long, because you have people on teams where you probably had one or two athletic guys, but that they had, all five guys are very athletic. When you go from point guard, Damian Barr, shooting guard, Boogie Ellis, and then at the small forward, he kind of surprised me when he put Lester Quintus at the small forward position. Because during the first two exhibition games, DJ Jeffries. So I think he was kind of just trying to shuffle things and see what he had. Because when you got James Wiseman out there, you kind of want to surround him with perimeter threats, because that opens up the offense when they double down on him.
Absolutely. And that did surprise me as well, because that was the I thought, except for what they did with Keona, is I thought he would start at the 2 and then bring DJ in off the, at the. See what they're doing, especially when you think about DJ's game as an isolation guy, and can get buckets. I feel like he may be able to more freely do his thing with that bench unit than he probably could with the starters. But it goes, you're gonna have a dangerous combination when it comes to that. Talk about when you look all around here. You talked about Damian Ball, 8 points, 8 assists. He didn't miss a shot as well. I think he went 3 for 3. He went 2 of 2 from 3, which I don't think people think about that as his strong suit. But he was probably the most effective of the 3-point. Because if anything, maybe as a negative, I think they went 6 for 20 from 3 last night, which is not great. But do you expect the Tigers to be a lot better than that going forward?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. I think, Boogie Ellis is one particular person who's kind of still in a sort of a shooting slump. I think the last exhibition game opened up a little bit, but since he's arrived, he hasn't really had a chance to show what he truly can do, because he's a high-volume shooter. Lester's kind of the same way. Both of those guys are 2 of your top perimeter shooters, including Tyler Harris. And I actually like the role of Tyler coming off the bench, kind of being like the microwave. Yeah. Like, just go out there and just play your game. And when his shot is falling, he's unstoppable. When his shot is not falling, he's kind of suspect. So, I mean, right now, that team it's early, but once they get it going, you're going to see the shots falling. Like I said, that's the first game of the year. But to me, the only thing that I saw that they really need to work on was the perimeter defense. Because there was a time when the game was very close between them and South Carolina State. And they had a shooter, number 14, I think his name was Jamani Etney. And that guy was pretty much a knockdown shooter, 6'4" guard that was giving them problems in the first half. Because the first half, it was kind of close. Then they just kind of ran away with it once the second half got to going. But from the past 2 exhibition games as well, with the slow start, that's something that they got to focus on, and that's working on their perimeter defense. Because when you play schools like a Michigan State, Cincinnati, they're going to have some seniors on their team that are going to pretty much be ready for the moment. And you know how that goes when you're hyped for a game, the shots are going to be falling.
Exactly. That's a great point, man. And, one thing that was cool to see for me was the connection with Alex Lomax when he did get in the game, and James White. Remember, that was something that we talked about all summer, really, and that was a point that you brought up all summer, really, was the fact that watch Alex Lomax in his game once he gets to play with his boy Wiseman again, because their connection at East was, uncanny. Anytime a guard has a guy that you can just throw it up to, really, that's a benefit for all these guards, not just Alex. but he just has more experience playing with Wiseman than the rest of them. But how did you feel Alex Lomax looked? I know he went 4 of 6, had 8 points in the game, a couple of assists. How do you feel he looked, and what do you think his role is going to be?
I was very happy for Alex Lomax. You know, I was excited for James, but more so game happy for Alex Lomax because you're talking about a state champion, local hero who is playing for the University of Memphis and has kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit with the newcomers. And, you know, you had so much high expectations for him when he changed his decision instead of going to Wichita State to now being a Memphis Tiger, and he performed well. And like you said, the chemistry with him and James Wiseman, we're talking about a point guard and center that played together for 2 years. And last year, man, the thing James was very adamant about was getting back to playing with his favorite point guard, somebody that would get him the ball. And so yesterday, I think you can kind of see the comfortable vibes amongst both players when they play with each other in the game, because a point guard who can do what he does best, and that's run a team. Alex Lomax is not a guard that's going to go out there and just score 20 points and you know, just win a game by himself. That's not his game. His game is being an orchestra. When I say that is, he makes sure everything is in line for us, making sure everybody's in the right place. He's a tough defensive guard, and he showed all of that last night. He represented the Binghamton community absolutely well last night. And he showed that he will be the backup primary point guard, because with him playing defense the way he plays and being tough-minded, you're going to need guys like that when you're trying to make a deep NCAA tournament run, because Damian Barr is not going to always be 100%. So to know he has somebody behind him that can carry the load, that speaks volumes about this team. And that's one thing that I love about this team, is that at each position there is someone there to take over. From point guard to shooting guard, you name it. We got a player at each position. And just found out yesterday that Malcolm Dandridge has been cleared to play with the University of Memphis Tigers team.
Oh, wow.
Will he play this year? I don't think he probably will, because honestly, I think it would be best if they do redshirt him. That way you can save him. You know, it can be life after James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Because I think Isaiah Stokes, I'm not sure if he will play this year, but you got guys like Lance Thomas and Precious. So you got enough bigs, and then still got Isaiah Maurice. We didn't play last night, so I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that situation.
Yeah, now I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one of the frequent questions I saw last night, surprisingly, because I know, you know, he's not a guy that, you know, I'd say has a ton of fans per se, but a lot of people were asking, you know, kind of surprised. They expected to see Maurice at some point because it was a blowout, you know. I mean, you got to see Jaden Hardaway and Ryan Boyce a little bit in there, but no Maurice. So that was kind of surprising. Do you anticipate him getting any play? Because, you know, if you talk about Dandridge, you know, if he does or doesn't, that adds even more depth. And I would imagine that if he does get in the rotation, that would push Maurice all the way to the back of the bench.
Yes, sir. I think so. I'm trying to get some info right now to see maybe was it an injury, because to not play in a blowout at all, it kind of makes me wonder what's going on behind closed doors. Because normally Penny's not that type of guy where he just keeps someone in the doghouse, and Isaiah is a great student athlete. He's not the type to really just be a problem. So I'm thinking this might be a little bit more to so just not playing. Another person that actually did pretty well last night was the coach's son, Jaden Hardaway.
Yeah.
He came off the bench and was a spark. And I've been telling people he's gotten better. You know, from his playing days, going to IMG Academy, I think kind of got him ready for the moment, and then also redshirting. So he has basically been stashed away and couldn't do nothing but get better.
Definitely. And one thing we know he can do is shoot. You know, he hit that 3, went 3 or 4 from the field overall. And we kind of saw in the Bahamas a little bit when he showed his game and some of the preseason games as well that he can be a guy. So this team's incredibly deep, man, and I can't wait to see, you know, as time continues to go on. Of course, we got some more of the warm-up early season games here to start. But Now, I'll ask you this again, and we'll kind of back on the Wiseman tip for a second. Can we expect a lot of games like this, like 28-11? Because like you kind of hear, even you consider who you're playing, and it was really unfair just kind of watching him do what he does out there, handle that can rebound. I mean, and you see how he's gotten bigger as well. One point that I was talking with Bob with yesterday, he only had one foul, despite him getting those block shots as well. But can we expect more like this consistently, or is this just an anomaly?
Man, without a doubt, you're going to see him dominate. The thing is, and I'm just being real when I talk, because one thing I love to give listeners and fans is the truth.
Absolutely.
The thing about James Wiseman is he doesn't really like being physical.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very interested to see this new James Wiseman in college going against physical players, because his body has changed. He's not a scrawny kid anymore. He's a 7-foot beast right now.
Mm-hmm.
And ESPN has compared him to a new dominant Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
And there's going to be moments where guys that match his size. So I'm very intrigued to see how that goes. But as of right now, he's going to dominate every game. It's all about keeping James out of foul trouble and keeping him healthy.
That's it. I agree 100%. Now, I got to go back when you talked about Dandridge. I was kind of surprised to hear you say that, to think that we should redshirt him, because, that's one guy, and I've gotten a ton of questions about him on the show with different callers and things like that, wanting to see him get in there with his old teammate from East. You still think they could hold him out just for, keeping him for the rest of those years that Wiseman's not here?
I think it's a possibility, because you're talking about an injury that Malcolm had late in his senior year. So it's
true.
It doesn't make sense to really rush him, because we're talking about a knee injury, and he's slowly getting better. But at the same time, he's to play.
Oh yeah.
Malcolm is a guy who's very, how can I say it? He's very Memphis. When I say Memphis, he bleeds blue.
Yes, sir.
When we're talking about a guy that, when the University of Memphis was going through their bumps last season, he was letting fans know, hey, guys, we're on our way, we're coming, and we're going to bring championship pride back to the city. So that's a guy that embraces the city and wants to play and just be amongst his comrades and be a part of the party. Nobody wants to be outside of the party watching everybody dance. He wants to get on the floor, too.
That's it. And we'll see what happens. I was impressed with everybody, not just the Wiseman effect, but everybody else as well, man. Last question, because I know some people want to get in here in a few minutes, but last question I want to ask you. When it comes to the recruiting aspect of things, right, and I heard about Chris Moore making his decision real soon, kind of tell people, if they don't know who that is, which you would think they should by now, but if they don't know who that is, talk about that, and what do you think his chances are coming to Memphis?
I'm going to say his chances are coming to Memphis are 110%.
Oh, wow.
With that being said, I kind of got this hunch back when Penny had a elite prospect showcase for guys recently, and I think what's thing is what he brings to. And when I describe this player, let me just put you in the imagination of a tough Draymond Green, Charles Barkley type player. He's not 6'9", 6'10", but he's a guy that's tough. And when I say tough, he's physical. He's the type of guy who doesn't back down from a challenge. Right now, he has a video that's going viral where he's pulling a school bus.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
This kid he's a country workhorse. And when I say that, like, he had a great summer where he was averaging a double-double in the EYBL. And for him to do something like that in the EYBL, you're playing amongst the best of the best in the country. And we're talking about a 6'5", 6'6" power forward. And now when you tell people 6'5", 6'6" power forward, they're like, well, you're small, you're short. But at the same time, when you get in the paint with Mr. Chris Moore, he treats you like a grown man. And this man is only an 18-year-old high school senior, but right now, I feel like he could compete on the college level right now. That's how strong and physical he is. His body he doesn't have any body fat. This guy is pure muscle, and he's learning to work on his versatility on the wing position. So when we get this new roster next year, I think you can't just say, okay, well, we're going to start. He will be a great role player. Mm-hmm. They'll eventually, learn to buy into being a starter. What position? I'm going to say put him at the 4th spot, because right now the way how the game is changing, you can put him at power forward because now it's about pushing the ball, tempo. Everything is not about being tall and slowing down. Now it's about pushing the ball up, getting the ball up as fast as possible. And also, not only Chris Moore, but I really do feel like we will get Jalen Green. So those are two for sure that I know we will get. I don't think they're going to just really have a spectacular class because you still got guys who are probably going to be back next year.
Yeah.
So you can't really just come back with another 6 guys because you're not going to have 6 guys going pro, in my opinion.
Yeah,
now,
I agree.
Anything can change from today into March because if we go into this run where guys are getting looked at, well, I'm not going to say going to get looked at because they had 30 NBA scouts at a practice one day.
Yeah.
So the possibility of having, I'm going to say, you're going to have at least right now you got 3 guys who will be NBA. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know now, Damian Ball will be a one and done. You got NBA scouts drooling over Damian Ball, and the opportunity to play at the next level is very intriguing to Damian Ball. I believe he will be a first-round draft pick because you're talking about a 6'4" point guard that has John Wall ability.
And that's a big thing.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I would just go to the next player. Precious Accord. Feel like it's the same. Hey, let me hear what you.
Oh well, as far as Damian, I could definitely. It's amazing though how he went from a guy where people say I don't know if he's going to make the rotation to man, this guy's going one and done, and now he's the starting point guard of the team, a guy that people wondered would he even get in the rotation at all. Just the only reason people said that though was because they didn't know anything about him compared to some of these other guys. But now that he kind of showed what he's got and showed he's that dog and that he can also get assists as well. I mean, 8 assists in the first game. That's a great sign for your starting point guard. I could just see pro scouts drooling over this guy, no question. But go ahead, what you going to say about Lester?
Actually, Precious Accord. We're talking
Precious,
NBA guy.
Gotcha.
I don't think Lester's an NBA guy yet.
Okay.
But Precious, man, 6'9", and when I think about him, the more I see him play, he reminds me so much of the guy for Toronto Raptors, Pascal Siakam. I think that's how you say his name.
Siakam, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Siakam, there you go. He reminds me so much of him because he's a 6'9" guy that he's getting better handling the ball. I really don't see him playing small forward, but at the same time, being a 4-man, they can bring the ball up a little bit. That helps his game and helps out his draft status. Because right now, many say he's between first round, late lottery, and it's really based on what this team does. If they can have a great run, he's going to be a lottery pick. If they just have a pretty good, decent season, he's just going to be a first-round pick. Because, for one, like I said, he's a 6'9", double-double machine, and he's getting better and better each time I see him play.
Absolutely.
And, of course, we all know James Wiseman, number 1 pick, hands down. All that talk about LaMelo Ball, trust me, James Wiseman will be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. You don't get like he calls himself a unicorn, but, a rare type of guy like that only comes around so many times. It's
something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, now I'm going to tell you what's been intriguing to me to look at lately.
Yes, sir.
After the Tigers had an open session for NBA scouts to come check them out, one particular team that was in the building to check them out was the Golden State Warriors. Right now, Golden State is doing very bad, and they look like they are tanking right now.
Yeah, they do.
You got guys in their starting lineup you never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
If they mess around and get this number one pick, could you imagine James Wiseman in the Golden State Warriors uniform? Steph Curry? Draymond Green? That would be the perfect situation for James Wiseman because you're playing in an up-tempo offense where all you got to be is a dunking machine because you're surrounded by shooters.
Yeah. I would absolutely hate it, but I think it at the same time. I can't lie. I would hate it, but it would be amazing. And then Klay Thompson, because don't forget, when he comes back from injury, makes that even more ridiculous. But I can see that happening, and there's a lot of talk about that too. And I don't think that's smoke. That's not just smoke. There's fire to that smoke. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, man. But that's my man Leon Taylor talking about the Tigers game last night and going into the rest of the season. He's going to be covering all the games for Talkback Live Network, and y'all going to see a lot more from him and us in the future. And Leon, any last words you got, man, before we go?
I just want to say thank you for the access, being able to get in the FedEx room. Bob and Josh, you guys have blessed me for my second year, and we're going to continue to give the fans what they want to see, and that's Tigers.
That's it, brother. All right, Leon, man, definitely going to talk to you again soon. A lot here. There's a lot of Tigers to talk about, man. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, that's Leon Taylor, Talkback Live Network contributor, in the building, talking Tigers, talking James Wiseman. Saw some questions here, and Mr. I think Phineas on Facebook, one of the big commenters on the Tigers here. I will answer a couple of the questions. I know you got in a little late that Leon did answer these. Isaiah Maurice, we're trying to find on. We don't know if it's an injury or what, but we do know that it is unusual that he did not play last night. Now, as far as Malcolm Dandridge, he's cleared right now to practice. So that's a big step in his development. But now going back to the phones, we got Vincent on the line. Vincent, how do you do, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Josh? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you great. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I was being a season ticket holder. I was at the game last night.
Okay.
And I must acknowledge the fact, first of all, that I was impressed with James Wiseman. I was impressed with Damian Barr. I was impressed with DJ Jeffries. I was impressed with Alex Lomax. I want to tell you something. This is what I would do. And I know, we got the 4-star players and everything, but the best point guard on that team to me is Alex Lomax. I would move Barr to a slashing type, attack the rim type guard who can give you 2 guards on the floor. I would put DJ Jeffries at the small forward. DJ, he made 2 or 3 threes. I think one was weighed off for some crazy reasons that they said somebody stepped out of bounds. And DJ rebounds. He's a kind of physical player. He can bring the ball up. Right now, Lester Quinones and Boogie Ellis, I'm sure they will get better as the year go on, but you're going to experience at that guard position when you start playing teams like Oregon. And I'm not really sure if all 3 of those guards out there at the same time is enough experience. I think Alex has the type of game that can kind of settle us down. I would put him at the starting point guard. Barr, let him be either the 2 guard and let Jeffries in that starting lineup. Front court of Jeffries and Wiseman. Now, I don't think there's a better front court in America. Those 3 playing together. And so I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, I was just looking at what I have seen, out of the exhibitions, and DJ. I mean, he had basically half of a triple-double playing half of a game. Yeah. Basically, he had 5 points. He should have had 8. Had 4 rebounds, 4 blocks, 4 assists or steals or whatever it was. And he's very active, strong guy. He's not no 6'7", 220-pound weakling. He's a kind of a physical guy. And I would put him in at that starting four. If Malcolm Dandridge can come in and play, you got Lance Thomas you got two front court players coming off the bench. Go ahead and put them in the starting lineup, and then you can let Quinones or Boogie Ellis come in as shooters for specific purposes. I'm kind of concerned about our three best shooters were supposed to be Tyler Harris, Quinones, and Boogie Ellis, and they went like two for what?
Yeah, like 15 or something like that. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I know the team overall went 6 for 20, which was not good.
Yeah.
But I'll just chalk that up, hopefully, to, opening game, whatever. Maybe they're just a little cold or whatever the case is. But we know those guys can shoot, so hopefully that translates back to the game soon. But I get your point. Just going back to your point on DJ for a minute, I think he would do great in either role, right? Like we're showing some of the highlights here. One pass, outstanding pass he made to Wiseman for an alley-oop. And he showed that he's got a lot to his game, including shooting the ball and everything else. But he has more freedom in the bench unit to score and to isolate and to show off his game a little more than if he was a starter. But I don't think if he started, it would hurt anything either. So don't get me wrong.
Well, no, because technically, Precious Achiuwa picked up 2 fouls within the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game, and DJ had to come in.
Yeah.
And when he came in, that's when the offense started clicking, because you had another passer. Precious, he's going to have to learn to pass the ball at the right time. He tends to want to kind of do his thing, which is fine because he's a great player, but against better defensive teams, you're going to have somebody who can pass. And one thing DJ was willing to do was pass the ball a little bit more frequently, and that helps the spacing and everything, and have that extra passer there. Quinones, I don't know what kind of passer he is. Right now, he's not really showing me, and it's kind of too early to tell, but, I mean, through 2 exhibition games and the first game, what is his three-point shooting percentage? I mean, if you count all the games, I mean, he's not really, him or Boogie Ellis haven't really done as well as I would have thought. And Tyler Harris, I'm really concerned about him because the less he makes baskets, the more pressure is going to be on him, because that's all he's really good for, is to, make baskets and maybe transition, type thing. That's not to minimize his talent, but I'm just saying compared to everybody else that's on the team. But as far as James Wiseman is concerned, I was kind of concerned. My mind flashed back to Steph Curry's injury when he went down hard on the floor. I said, look, we don't need him breaking nothing right now. Everybody like jumped up with the heart in their chest, like, man, or heart in their throat.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you,
that was a hard foul.
That's why I don't blame Penny for, he only played 22 minutes. And I don't blame him for it. I mean, you didn't need him that much in that game, even though he produced like he played 40 minutes. But, Yeah, if he had played 30, he would have got like probably 35 and 20. I mean, it would have been off the charts. And, unfortunately, the Sports Center, they showed Vernon Maxey and somebody else. They got the props for that. But James Wiseman should have been, definitely,
on there. But it's amazing how those things go. Let me ask you this question moving forward. If we get Jalen Green and Damon Ball don't go pro, who's the star after next year?
Hey, that's a good question. That's something I've talked about with some folks. And I think that's why hopefully there aren't too many guards right now, because, you're going to have Tyler and Alo for 4 years. And,
you probably have Boogie. You can probably have Boogie for 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3
at the most. I don't see him. Yeah, but as far as a big man, don't we need one more big man from somewhere? Or do you think Malcolm Dandridge, Stokes, Lance Thomas, and because if we lose Achiuwa and Wiseman and we lose Isaiah, we only got 3 big men left. So we need another big man, really.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to come from somewhere. I know that's been I think they wanted to focus on here in this next part of the recruiting session. But I know getting Chris Moore is going to be good, but he's not a big, like a center or anything like that. So they're going to need to get some more guys. It doesn't even have to be, to me, when it comes to big man, he doesn't have to be a 5-star guy. Just give me a big body that can play, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully, things can work itself out because of the outer pieces that you got out there. So We'll see, but
what about this guy? What about this guy that came to the game last night? 6'10", 200 something. Who is that guy? Is he a 2020 recruit or what?
Was that
you know what I'm talking about?
Was that Sissa? I think that's his last name.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but him.
Yeah, who's at Lausanne. They're definitely after him hard. I'm glad you brought him up because that's the guy they're after. Right there. He would be big. Like, outstanding player, prospect. I think I don't know if he's going to reclassify or what. If anybody has some more stuff on that, y'all can leave it in the comments there. But I know he's going to destroy it at Lausanne, but I think he may be 2021.
One last quick one comment, man. The football game over the weekend, I didn't get a chance to call in this week earlier because, my work schedule. But that was incredible, off the chain. I put a post on Facebook. I'm sure you saw it. I said, everybody in Memphis needs to cash out their kicker from Tulsa, $1. Everybody that went to that game and was on Bill Street for game day, we all need to get together, cash out that dude $1, put about $200,000 in his pocket because he brought millions. He brought millions to the Memphis economy by missing that kick.
Yes, he did. And I know all of Bill Street is thanking him for that.
Yeah, he needs some compensation for that. But I'm gonna tell you, that Antonio Gibson guy, man, he's every bit as good as Tony Pollard.
Yes,
to me.
Yes, and
he's every bit as good as Tony Pollard.
I don't know what he is, a receiver or because they just started using him in running packages. I hadn't seen that before this past game. But man, I mean, I don't know, but I think they just found him another star, no question.
Well, my thing is, who do you prepare for in the next game? Do you prepare for him or do you prepare for Kenny Gainwell?
Exactly.
That's what made him so effective. They were keying on Gainwell, even though he did do okay. They were keying on him, but they had no clue who that guy was. I mean, like, his guys run all over the field. It's like, man, what the way? You can't prepare for a guy in one game like that. Now, the next team may have a little bit more some balls in the deep passes all year. I mean, he's been the one that's been catching the 50-yard bombs and stuff. So, I don't know. I just feel like Memphis football is really that ovation that Mike Norvell got. I've never seen a football coach get an ovation like that at a basketball game.
Oh, no doubt, and it's well deserved, man. It's we'll see how long he sticks around or whatever the case is. I know some people saying the rumors of Florida State are starting. I don't know how legit that is. I saw a Florida State writer talking about Norvell. But
well, you know what? I'm concerned about Arkansas because Arkansas is losing.
Yep. I
don't know if that coach is on his way out the door. I mean, Florida State get rid of Taggart. I can see Arkansas getting rid of who's the Arkansas coach right now. I don't even know who he is.
Chad Morris. Matter of fact, they hired him instead of Norvell a couple of years ago. Yeah, because it was down to Norvell and Chad Morris, and they went with Chad Morris. But now I think they're hating that decision they made. No question.
Yeah, I would love to see Norvell stay here. I mean, that would really be big for us. We got athletes for the next year that's going to make the team be good offensively and defensively. So he set us up pretty well. I think we're set up now better with him leaving. If he does leave, we're set up better now with him leaving than we were when Justin Fuente left.
Absolutely, Vincent.
Yeah. Okay, man. Thank you so much for your time. I know I went over, but can't talk but one day a week, so I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, man. Good stuff.
All
right. That is Vincent with the call. Talked about several things there. If you want to get in, you can. 901-213-6020. Got just a few minutes left in the program. If y'all want to get in, got a comment you want to let the people know about, you can definitely do so. Read a couple of these comments here. Phineas says Precious is a monster. I can see Precious at the 3. He'll be a 3 at the NBA level, at the next level. Charles Martin says, I wonder if Stokes is going to clear. I don't know. Last I heard was Penny Hardaway. If you heard the press conference I played yesterday. So that is something clearly that Penny wants to get done. Clearly he wants to get Isaiah Stokes on the floor. I could tell how badly he's hoping that clears. I'm curious what his role exactly will be, but we'll see. They're actively trying to get him through the compliance office. Looking here, Also, Phineas says Sissa might reclassify to 2020. That's right, he is a 2021. And I did look that up. I appreciate that as well. But we'll see, man. Y'all can continue to leave your comments. It is 2:47. Got about 10 minutes or so left in the program. How impressed were you guys with James Wiseman last night? And not only Wiseman, but the entire team. How impressed were you after game one? Now, we must consider this is South Carolina State again. But the Tigers did what you're supposed to do if you're a team that's considered to be a contender in the nation. You're not supposed to go out and play around with a team like South Carolina State. The Tigers went out. It was close early, like it usually is, but the Tigers put the pedal to the metal and just destroyed South Carolina State, which I expect them to do in these next couple of games. But the tests are coming. The Oregons of the world are coming, and ironically, Chandler Lawson up there in Oregon and all those great players they got up there, that's going to be a real test for the Tigers. Also, do you think what we saw from James Wiseman is going to be consistent? Let us know. Do you think that'll be a regular thing we'll see from the big man down low? Looking at some more comments here. Let's see. GKP in the building. What's happening, man? I know who it is. What's good, brother? Congrats on that interview, by the way, too, with Ed Stanton that you did earlier today. GKP, y'all go check that out as well on his page. Greg says, okay, so somebody needs to make Lester Quinones stop Lazy Dukes on the basketball floor. Hey, look, I'm not a fan of him either. Hopefully it makes him shoot better. That's about all I can say about Lester and those extra short shorts that he's got. I guess they let him do it. So I don't know what to say about that. Looking here, Justice says Damian Ball is the guy. So I guess, Justice, you want him to stay the starting point guard. Leon brought up the fact that, hey, why not put Alex Lomax at the 1, let Damian either play the 2, the off guard, or either come off the bench and contribute some of that. I think Damian should start personally because one of the things, and it's no knock at Lomax because I think he's going to have a good year this year, but I think what you have the benefit of this year compared to last year, you have big guards now. Last year, the only big guard we really had was Kareem Bruton that had any size. I can't even say he was big. I think he was 6'2", 6'3", maybe. If you want to call that big, that's kind of normal size. But now you got guards that are 6'4", 6'3", 6'5", and then the shorter guards like Alo and Tyler can come off the bench and still contribute and mix match with the Damian Balls, with the Lester Quinoneses, with the Boogie Ellises of the world. And you won't have as bad of a size mismatch as last year because those guys got exposed last year. Like, once again, not that they aren't good players, but you get exposed with size mismatches. And teams are going to take advantage of that on a consistent basis, but not this year. The Tigers have length. The Tigers have athleticism. They have shooting, which will hopefully show itself coming here soon, and all of that stuff. So, a lot of advantages to this year's team. Once again, if you want to call in, you can do so 901-213-6020. Phineas also says Ball will be gone after this year. Alo will be the starter next year. So that's a good point. Alo's going to have his time at some point. He also says we really need to get a big. I agree, Josh. We need a big that doesn't have to be highly rated. Yeah, doesn't have to be highly rated. This is after Wiseman. It's funny how we focus already toward the future because we know Wiseman's going to be here for a year, and we're going to need some help on the back end. But looking here, Phineas also says, I really hope we keep Norvell until they expand the college football playoffs. I'm going to tell you something. As much as people in Memphis always love to say, right? And even I've gotten caught up in it in the past, but people in Memphis always love to say, oh, we're going to lose our coach. Coach is gone. He's leaving. He ain't staying here. He ain't gonna be. We ain't good enough for Norvell. Look, chill out on that. Now, this is not to knock Norvell. He's done a great job. I really do think so. And I think he's gotten better as an on-the-field coach this season. Has been some of his best coaching on the field in big games, especially the SMU game. Because if you think about it, one thing I've criticized Norvell about, they have not won the big game in a lot of these situations. You know, where they had a SMU come into town or whatever the case is, or a bowl game. They still haven't won a bowl game under Norvell. But he's got a chance to alleviate those wrongs this year. He alleviated winning a big game against SMU. That was a legit win. That was his best win as a coach at Memphis. By far. By far. The UCLA game, over Ole Miss win earlier this year, that was a Ole Miss team that's not that good. This was a legitimate SMU team that came in the stage, and Norvell and Brady White and Kenny Gainwell and Antonio Gibson, all of those guys stepped up and won a big game. Here is the key to Memphis football. Finish the season. Finish the season. You are right there. If you're Mike Norvell, you need to be telling these guys this week, and I know they're off this week. Perfect time for a bye week, by the way. I don't know who came up with the schedule, but it was perfect. It's almost like I know they had no way of knowing that game day and everything that would happen this weekend. But perfect timing for the bye week. But this week, and even next week, emphasize, finish strong. Finish strong. We are right there at the precipice of the New Year's Six Bowl. They were talking about the college football playoff rankings. They had Memphis, they had Boise State, and those teams as the top non-Power 5 schools. We are right there in the conversation. 3 games left in the regular season. Then the AAC title game. So you really have to win 4 games, but let's concentrate on each game as they come. The Houston game. Do not sleep on Houston at all, because Houston can play. Houston has given Memphis problems over the years. Every game, it seems like in Memphis and Houston, something crazy happens throughout history. You know, if you can remember those games. I know I do. So we need to focus. And we need to finish strong. This is for Norvell's resume. This is for the city of Memphis. This is for that team. You cannot let this opportunity slip out of your grasp. So that's what they need to be emphasizing on the football end of things. Houston, South Florida, and you finish the season at the Liberty Bowl versus the Cincinnati Bearcats, which will probably be another nationally televised highlight game. And ironically, if things get the way they are, you're going to play that same Cincinnati team in the AAC title game. So there's a lot of stakes here for Memphis football. And if Mike Norvell is who he says he is, who people consistently say that he is, finish. Don't just almost get there, finish. So we shall see. I hope they finish. I want them to finish. I think this team is capable of finishing, but let's see them actually do it. So, back to basketball here. I'm fired up about that. I really am. They got the week off so they can rest and recuperate for what is to come in Memphis football. So it's going to be a hot ending to the season no matter what ends up happening. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I told y'all yesterday. And if you're just coming in, I'm going to tell you guys again. Let's say in the off chance Mike Norvell does leave. Florida State's out there. There's other jobs that may open up. I believe that we have a pretty good clue on who the next head coach of the Memphis Tigers will be. Y'all remember me saying this, and I want y'all that are listening to mention me, Joshua Midget on Facebook, tweet at TalkBackLive on Twitter, mention TalkBack Live with Bob and Josh's Facebook page, DM me, mention me on your timeline, all of that stuff. Whenever Norvell does finally leave, The next head coach of the Tigers, I do believe, will be Chip Long, former offensive coordinator under Mike Norvell when he first got to Memphis. He is the current offensive coordinator for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He is one of the hottest young head coaching prospects in the country. He has ties to Memphis. He helped recruit some of the guys that are here right now. You better believe if he wants his first head coaching job, come to Memphis. And if Norvell leaves, you better believe Norvell will recommend Chip Long to come to Memphis and be the next head coach. And if he does, I think it'll be a great hire. So y'all be on the lookout. And hopefully Memphis can time it right to where both are leaving at the same time. So we'll see what happens on that front. But right now, talking about Memphis basketball. But if you want to talk Memphis football, you can do that also in the comments below. Also here on comments says, why crush the AAC conference? I agree. There's no Taco Fall out there at UCF this year. If y'all know a big man that can match up to Wiseman in the AAC, feel free to let me know. Also says Wiseman will have the advantage against Oregon because they won't have their highly rated big man when they play us. That's true. I did hear about that. That is a major development. Chip Long. Yeah, that's right. Look him up. Chip Long. Look up Chip Long. Also, another comment here says Memphis will match any school to pay him $5 million a year. Going to Arkansas, Ole Miss, or Tennessee will be a parallel move. Stay here. And this is one thing I know Bob, which is the founder of TalkBack Live, and the host of TalkBack Live with Bob and Josh in the morning. Y'all can check that out also. The anchor show on this network. But we were talking about, and we've talked about in the past, why, if you're going to leave Memphis, as great as Memphis has gotten its football program currently, leave, it better be for a good job. Because I'm going to tell you right now, some people always bring up Arkansas. And I get it. I think Arkansas will offer him a lot of money. But here's the problem. If you go to Arkansas, what's going to happen? Expectations. You're going to the SEC now. You're going to the SEC West. You're going to the SEC West with Alabama, with LSU, with Auburn. That's almost all I need to name right there. You're in a conference with all those teams in Florida and Georgia. Football powerhouses right now. I wouldn't want none of that because you're not going to win. You're not going to be better than Alabama. You're not going to out-recruit LSU. You're probably not even going to outdo Auburn. So why leave, go to Arkansas, and get fired in 3 years because you're not producing to the level that they want you to be? Why not stay at Memphis? You got the city eating out of the palm of your hands. Just look at what happened on game day. Mike Norvell can do whatever he wants in this city. Whatever he wants. Why go to Arkansas when you got to go prove yourself against Alabama every year? Who wants that problem? I wouldn't want it for him. So let's keep it real. Now, Florida State is another thing. Also, the comment here, Florida State is a double mess right now since they lost Fisher, Jimbo Fisher, and Willie Taggart, who was recently fired this week. Huge mess. Also another program with huge expectations, but that may be a little bit of a better job because you play in the ACC. Now, you know you got Clemson there, but they are no SEC. They're not even as good as the AAC, in my opinion. So maybe that would be a destination, but it's still a lot of expectations. So we shall see, man. But a lot of stuff we could say about Norvell, a lot of stuff we could say about Penny and the Tigers, and we're going to continue to talk about that as time goes on. But for me, that's going to do it for me on today. This is another Wednesday in the books, man. Great show. The show went fast today. When you're talking Tigers, you got to love it. This team has got the city hype. And, you know, I don't blame you for being excited because I'm excited. And we all should be excited for Memphis Tigers sports. So without any further ado, man, that's going to do it for me. I am your host, Joshua Midget. I'm about to get on out of here. And be sure y'all support this channel. Follow us. Like our Facebook page, Talkback Live Network. Like Talkback Live with Bob and Josh Facebook page as well. And be sure you support. Share this video also if you get the opportunity. Share it on your timeline. Let people know what we're doing over here on Talkback Live Network. That's going to do it for us today, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. Let's go, let's get it, let's get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you with it? Yeah, we with it. Let's go, let's get it, let's get it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you with it? Yeah, we with it. Big time players make big plays. Big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Go hard, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. 'Cause big time players make big time plays. Big time players make big time plays. Gotta get it in a big time way. Let's get it on the grind.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or a mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or a mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.